what do we say? We don't spend time, right, with appetizers and no salad. No, we go straight for the jugular. I bring the meat every week. And today we have Theresa Flood on this call. And Theresa, I appreciate you gracing us with your time. And we're anxious to hear your message. The floor is yours, my friend.
Thank you. Well, yes, I'm here to bring the meat. I mean, y'all would be so bummed if I brought you like a celery stick. Like, boo, no one wants that. So, listen, Hi, Kelly Can. I'm seeing so many new faces that I haven't met before, which makes this really fun and exciting. And Ben, thank you. I'm very honored to be among your very illustrious group that you've had speak on this call. And when I was typing in the password to give 2021, I realized how long you have been doing this. Because I guarantee you formulated the password at the beginning when this was all birthed. And so kudos to you for bringing the meat every week. And so I will absolutely do my best to continue that very honored tradition. So I want to start out with a question, and it's a rhetorical question, so you don't have to answer it out loud. But here's the question. Whose life are you leading, and how do you know? I'll say it again. Whose life are you leading, and how do you know? So I think our gut response, most of us, right, are going to answer that question immediately. Well, I am. My life. I'm leading my life, right? And yet when we slow down for just a minute and we ask the question, how do we know? There might be a little bit more ambiguity, right, in that answer. So it's a thought-provoking question, and I would encourage you to write it down and maybe chew on it for a little while. If you're taking notes, I want you to write these 3 words across your page. You can write it like you can do a box, 3 boxes. And the first box, I want you to write the word learning. The second box, I want you to write the word working. And the third box, write the word playing. Learning, working, and playing. Now, here's the reality, is that different seasons of our life have different emphasis. We'll just move on. Would y'all agree with that, right? So for instance, when you were a tiny little baby, you're playing, but really though, what are you doing? What is play to a child? They're learning, right? Have you ever seen a child try to put the square toy into the round hole? It's the most frustrating thing to watch on the planet Earth. They're really learning in that moment, right? If we have teenage children, their main job, they may work other places and do other things, but their main job is to learn and get an education, right? That's what they're spending the majority of their time. And as you go through your early 20s, it's really, life is about learning. It's what am I going to be when I grow up, and what do I need to learn to achieve that, right? And then we enter the workforce, and what becomes our primary responsibility? Working, right? We're working to save for that first home. We're working to pay off all of our college loans. We're working to support a growing family. We're working to get that bigger house because we're busting at the seams. We're working to get to that next level of success, right? We're working to build wealth. It's our prime working years. Probably majority of us on this call are probably in that season of life, right? And I think it spans several decades. And then what happens? If you play all your cards right, what do you get to do? Play, right? Like we're going to go travel the world. We're going to have a yacht. We're going to go put our toes in the sand, and we're going to do nothing. We're going to do nothing. Nobody's going to want anything from us, right? Our children are going to care for us and dote on us, and we are going to play, right? And live our lives. Well, here's the reality. While different seasons of life have different emphasis, the reality is a full life incorporates always all 3 things. A full life incorporates always all 3 things. So those of you who are raising or have raised children will go back to your teenage children. Would you have done them a disservice if they only went to school and never washed a dish? Right? Never babysat, never mowed a lawn, never did any kind of work. That would be a disservice to them, right? Even though learning maybe is the main thing in that moment, they need to work, right? And would y'all agree they only get to be kids one time? And if they were only learning and working, there would be something greatly missing from, they need to play, right? They need to have fun. They need to create memories with their friends. They need freedom. And so what I see oftentimes happen as we get into adulthood is that sometimes we so compartmentalize those three main things that need to be happening in our lives, right? And I'm assuming most of you are probably in real estate on this call, but anybody feeling a little tired, a little burnout, maybe a little feeling a little something. And I'm not here to tell you I have all the secret sauce to it. And what I do know is one of the best ways to guard against burnout is to make sure that while we are in a season of work and of heavy working, that we are also learning and that we're also playing, right? If you've read the book, The One Thing, it was a book written by Gary Keller, and he asked the question, what is the one thing that you can do that makes everything else in your life easier or insignificant, right? And he talks in that book, the lie of balance, right? So if you were to stand on one foot and you were to say, I'm balancing, you're actually not balancing. What you're doing is you're counterbalancing, right? So you can feel your foot kind of wobbling back and forth, right? Goes a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. And by counterbalancing back and forth, you actually give the illusion of balance, right? And so we know, especially in a season like we're in real estate right now, every day may not be balanced, right? That might be a losing fight to say, I'm going to spend the exact same amount of time playing, learning, and working every single day. That's not a reality, right? And yet there's a counterbalance that needs to happen, right? When our priorities and we're filling our time with all three. So I have some questions to kind of ask you. So let's talk first of all about working. And I want to ask you some questions. Is number one, does your work have meaning? Does your work have meaning? And are you keenly aware of what that meaning is? Right? Are you connecting the dots between what you do every single day, right? The rise and grind, and your significance? Do you know why you're working so hard? Did you set big goals for yourself in the past, but haven't really dialed in to remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing every single day, right? Gary Keller threw out this question to his top agent group, and I thought it was a powerful question for really top achievers, like I know you guys are on this call. And it was, how do you know when enough is enough? Right? What are we working towards, and what are we building, and how will you know when enough is enough? And why will you know that? Are you only becoming successful, or are you becoming significant? Right? Is your work attached to significance and to meaning? Okay, so that's the working one. All right, let's move to the learning one. So some of you maybe don't know me and my history. I used to work for a home warranty company. And if you can imagine, every call to a home warranty company is because somebody has a problem, okay? So when something goes south, it goes real south. And there's just a lot of conflict management in the summertime. I remember there was a summer that I was in home warranty sales that there was 100 days in a row of 100-degree heat. I had people yelling at me that their parents were going to die. I mean, it was all kinds of crazy stuff happening, right? It was stressful. And I knew I needed a change, though, in my life when I articulated it like this: I'm stressed and I'm bored. Okay, it's a horrible combination to be stressed and bored. It's one thing to be stressed. Hi, whoever that was. It's one thing to be stressed and challenged. It's another to be stressed and bored. I'm telling you, it's a terrible conversation. Don't get yourself into that place. And it comes because we quit learning, right? Because we've been doing this grind for so long and we're not learning something new that's challenging and exciting. One of my very favorite workouts to do is a kickboxing workout. And it's because it mentally challenges my brain. Okay, so I'm left-handed, and I think this is why I don't have a dominant side. So I have to really think when he's calling my 1-2 punches that my left is my 1 and my right is my 2. Like I have to really concentrate and think. So while I'm pushing myself physically, I'm not bored in that moment, right? We don't get tired so much from physical work, you guys. We get tired from stress and we get tired from boredom. So here's the questions about learning. Is your mind being challenged or are you just stressed and tired? Have you pushed yourself to try something new and experienced a new joy in that activity? And then who are you becoming in your journey, right? So even in the journey of our work or the journey of our families, right? The most important goal that we will ever set is who we get to become in the process. Right? We have a goal to sell 100 units this year. Who do you have to become to be the kind of person that sells 100 units? And here's the reality. Every goal that I have, every aspiration that I have, if I was already that person, I would be achieving it right now. Right? That's not a guilt or a shame or a beat myself up, but I would already be doing it if I was that person. So I know every goal that's on the horizon that I'm looking to attain or to achieve, I know I have to learn and become somebody different. When I wake up every single day, I have to make choices to be somebody different, to grow my character, to grow my skill set, right? To grow my thinking, to become the person that then achieves those goals. Are you investing in your personal growth? Okay, so that's your learning. All right, and then you're playing. Here's your playing part. There is a power in having a sense of humor, right? Are you taking yourself too seriously? Are you creating space in your calendar to create experiences with your family, right? If your entire work life is time blocked, but your family isn't time blocked, right? Your personal time, your fun. And I'm talking about family. I know there is a part of family, especially if you have young children, that is work. Okay, I get that. But I'm talking about that quality time, right? And being with the people that we love and that we enjoy as fun, right? And hopefully you love the people that you live with, right? And that you get to do life with. But are you creating those experiences? And here's what I would ask everybody to do a little inventory, and that is, you should have something every single week that you're looking forward to, and something in the future that the near future, not like in 10 years, I'm going to go buy a yacht, but something like in 3 months, I'm going to buy a yacht. Okay. Or I'm going to go on a weekend getaway, right? Or whatever it makes you happy. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to excite anybody else, right? But do you have something on your calendar? Time with friends, time with family, a way to relax, a massage, a round of golf, right? Whatever floats your boat. Do you have something every week that you're looking forward to, and something in the near future that you're looking forward to? Because I do believe, you guys, as we are in a season of real estate pressure, and some extra work hours, and everything is just harder than it was before, right? You're making more dials to get the same amount of leads. You're making more contacts to get the same amount of listings. You're, God knows, writing more contracts to get the same amount of buyers or less under contract, right? So we know that is a season of heavy work. And I will tell you, as we make sure we're attaching meaning to that work, right? And sometimes meaning to the pain, meaning to the challenge, as we're making sure that we're learning and growing intentionally, not just accidentally. We all learn accidentally. That's not the kind of lessons. I'm talking about intentional learning. And then as we make a lot of space and intentionality in our calendar for play, and for the people that we love, doesn't make it easy. I do believe it will make it better. That's what I have, Ben Baker.
Again, Steve,
10:45. Did you see that?
hey, Chris, what did I tell you? Kenneth, I
10:45.
told you she is efficient if she is nothing. She is beautiful, she's talented, and she's a big thinker. And I love that about her. And I appreciate you bringing the meat, right? Guys, typically I recap, and again, whose life are you leading? And again, how do you know? And let me just summarize that by saying, if you're not leading the life that you want, then what are you going to do different? What are you going to do different? Okay. I would suggest that you might need to expand your tribe and your audience. Sometimes that'll help, right? You might need to run with the big dogs and not the sheep. How about that, right? If you're stressed and bored, what a bad combo. Awful combo to have, right? And again, all right. And I would say then, is there a carrot? Is there a carrot that that's dangling in front of you that helps keep you motivated, that you're looking forward to? And again, I think that can bring the fun into what it is we do, because yes, we are in the season of stress-filled, right? It just is, right? And how are we combating that? And I think we combat that by having something to look forward to, someone's who a life to impact, someone to help implement change, can do all that. And it can take the boredom and the stress and give you that carrot and bring you the excitement back to things. So Theresa, I appreciate you. I love you. And thanks so much for sharing your message. And guys, let me just tell you what I tell you each and every week. Next week, I've got someone that, again, is not really even related to our industry. And I love doing that every now and then. Someone who's not in real estate will bring a unique perspective to life, to leadership, to mindset. Call it what you want to, but you will not want to miss next week's call. Trust me on that, right? So to all my friends, including Eve Holder, who jumped on simply to hear Theresa, because I don't think she's ever been on to hear me before. And I understand, I still love you nonetheless. Deanna, appreciate you chiming in each and every week. Love you too, Eve. Guys, let's go impact a life, right? Let's go serve the needs of those that need to be served. And like Theresa says each and every week, let's go take a listing, right? Peace. See y'all next week.